course, we're always happy, Bart. Welcome back to Sportsworld. If you may have just joined us, then please stay with us. We're talking racing. Of course, a long weekend. It's a monster weekend of racing. Newmarket yesterday and the Australia Cup tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. On that note, we welcome Keith Hillier with some news, Keith, of Better Loosen Up.
Yes, thank you, Sandy, and good morning. Better Loosen Up was tested by veterinary stewards yesterday at the request of David Hayes, who reported that 21 days ago, Better Loosen Up had a cortisone injection because of a back complaint. The result of that test will be known this afternoon, and that will determine whether Better Loosen Up can run in the Honda Australian Cup tomorrow. David Hayes, only minutes ago, told me that he was very confident that Better Loosen Up would be cleared to run.
OK, then we'll have to wait and see on that one. Now, let's talk about the Newmarket.
Yes, well, yesterday, Sandy, in the Newmarket handicap, Bart Cummings sent out the favourite, Western Chorus. Bart's our guest this morning, but Bart was denied a 9th win in the Newmarket handicap. It was won for the first time by Lee Friedman. What went wrong with your mare?
Good question.
Do you have the answer, Bart?
No, not really. But, I think the winner's too good.
Winner's too good. It was the first Newmarket success for Lee Friedman, and of course he also supplied the runner-up Storay. Let's have a look now at the Newmarket handicap, $500,000 worth.
We're over on the inside. Street Ruffian has worked his way to the lead by a half length in advance of Recabida. Close up behind them on the inside, Western Chorus being followed by Ellie Shan in a handy position. Noble Lancer is in behind them. Wider on the track is Scalacci, followed by Miss Comanche. Dark Bow on the outside, Umatilla, Grandiose and Sonic Express as they race onto the course proper. It's a compact field. Street Ruffian on the inside, the leader. About to be tackled by Noble Lancer and Western Chorus driving up along the inside, followed by Ellie Shan, and Scalacci is joining in down the outside with a good run. 300 metres left to go. Noble Lancer about to be tackled by Scalacci. They've got away by a length and a half. Street Ruffian, Umatilla, Western Chorus, nowhere to go. Scalacci's taken the lead with 100 metres left to go. Hands and heels by Oliver. Finishing on Umatilla. Scalacci is the leader close to home. Umatilla and finishing very fast to Raya, but Scalacci for the Newmarket. Scalacci by a half length to Raya, third Umatilla.
Fantastic performance by Scalacci. That was only his 6th start in a race, and he equalled the record set by Placidark in 1987 of winning the Lightning Stakes, the Oakley Plate and the Newmarket handicap. And it has not been since Wakeful in 1901 since a horse had so few starts won the Newmarket. Wakeful was having only her 4th. Let's have a look now at the Francis Tressady Stakes at Flemington yesterday.
Laura's last to go, and Hot Set the leader by 2 lengths to Mystique Aura as they straighten up. Akush Lamari is close handy. Over on the inside, Holiday Lover, followed by Tasoldi and Valdegrace looking for a runner. Fairy Dreams down the outside is next to the head of the others. Then came Future Edition and Let's Hurry coming from a long way back, and down the outside was Irish Grace and Quiet Queen. 300 metres left to go. Akush Lamari's ranged up on the outside to take the lead and is clear now from Holiday Lover. In 3rd place is Valdegrace, followed by Tasoldi and Twiglet coming home well, and down the outside Let's Hurry is starting to come at them. But Akush Lamari in front, close to home. She's going to win it. Akush Lamari wins it well. Close for 2nd and 3rd. Give it a Twiglet probably in the centre, just ahead of Tasoldi. Over on the outside, Let's Hurry and Holiday Lover close up.
Akush Lamari, she's a very honest mare. She's off to Sydney for the Canterbury Stakes there now. Let's have a look. It wasn't a dry day for Bart completely. His Love comes to town, having her 2nd start in a race, and she's a very impressive winner.
They come up towards the home turner, and well back is Peter's Potion, and back with a Miss Jamil, and very wide on the track is Euro. They straighten up with 500 metres left to go. On centre court on the inside, being tackled by No Telling, and joining in with a good run now is Freedom Fields, being followed by Racing Ruler. Astute Angel down the centre of the track is finishing on pretty well as they come down to the 250. Anybody's race, No Telling is being tackled by Astute Angel under the whip. Freedom Fields followed by Racing Ruler, and down the outside as Love comes to town. Astute Angel on the outside has got a head in front of Freedom Fields, who's kicking back, and Love comes to town down the outside. Astute Angel just the leader close to home. Love comes to town, going home with Shade the better. Love comes to town has won it. From in 2nd place Astute Angel, and Racing Ruler may have got up to run 3rd, just ahead of Freedom Fields and Pompeii Lady.
Well, she looked very good, didn't she? But will Love comes to town go to Sydney now for the Champagne?
I've discussed that with David Haynes this afternoon. At this stage, it's not likely.
She's by a side that I don't know, Exit B.
Yes, well, he's an American horse that David imported from America along with Razor Cup. And when he went private, he put them out privately. And I think it's somewhere in Victoria at the moment. And I believe it's got almost a terminal problem at the moment.
OK, back to Flemington now, and Bart strikes again. London Bridge.
Round the turn they come, 650 metres left to go, and Cara Wind tackled by Classic Music, the outsider. A length and a half to Home Biller as they straighten up. London Bridge behind them, Rich Dreams over on the outside now. Here comes Pelagic starting to wind up, followed by Tornish, and Brashy is looking for a run down past the 400 metre mark now, and Pelagic on the outside is racing up very quickly to tackle London Bridge as they go to the leader. Coming down to the 250, it's Pelagic on the outside. London Bridge is making a race of it. They're clear from Brashy, who's now third, followed by Rich Dreams. London Bridge on the inside is holding Pelagic in the final 100 metres. London Bridge getting a length clear now. He's drawing away, and London Bridge in the all-white is too good. London Bridge wins it well by 2 lengths. Pelagic every chance. Third home Brashy.
Well, a form improvement there for London Bridge. Bart, you told us that London Bridge had been anaemic. Please educate me again. How do you tell when a racehorse is anaemic?
Well, blood counting pathology is very scientific these days, and with the blood test taken by a veterinary surgeon, they test it during the day and in the evening and get the result back, and his red blood cells were down quite markedly, probably from some minor infection, subclinical thing which we didn't notice, and the result is the blood drops and obviously the form suffers.
OK, let's switch the racing scene now to Sydney and Warwick Farm, the Hobartville Stakes. Seen as a match race between Terse and Big Dreams, but they didn't figure on a filly from Adelaide in Sydney for the Oaks or a colt from Perth in Sydney for the Derby.
A swarm of leaders coming to the turn. Big Dreams is getting a rails run. Big Dreams is poked right up on the inside to almost join Bella Snap and Sedgwin. Kinjate 4 deep, and Terse has got to go 5 wide as they come around the corner. Straightening up now, Bella Snap and Big Dreams over Sedgwin. Here's Terse. Terse on the outside, winding up, is coming after them quickly. Kinjate shifting his ground under pressure, but he's still there running a race. Big Dreams hard up against the inside rail as the leader with 100 to go. Terse, actually it's a Rossity going after Big Dreams, and Take the Road is swooshing through in the centre. A big finish, I think. Take the Road. Take the Road possibly has got up in the last stride to beat Big Dreams and a Rossity. The West Aussie ran a great race.
60 to 1 to 33, the only filly in the field, Take the Road. Did you see the run of Ferocity? Watch for him in Sydney. And Clary Connors, the trainer of Terse, the odds-on favourite who finished 4th, was asked to comment on the run, and he summed it up in one word: disappointing. Let's have a look at the 2-year-olds now, aiming for the Golden Slipper.
As they come up to approach the turn, and is level pegging with My Marilyn. 2 lengths away, Co-Sharp, who looks to be jogging behind those 2 leaders. Vaneway flat to the boards, and then Slight Chance. Oh, what an opera, so spectacular. And Watch is giving them a pretty tidy start on the corner. Into the straight, My Marilyn headed Rathy's Grand. Beedman's about to switch the grey. Co-Sharp to the outside. Took him a while to get across the heels of the filly. My Marilyn's in front. Here comes Co-Sharp, and Slight Chance wide out, running a hell of a race. Co-Sharp hit the lead 100 out over My Marilyn. Slight Chance is coming at Co-Sharp. Beedman's got to pull out, all stops. The filly's coming home better. Slight Chance got up to win, going away on the line. Slight Chance by a neck to Co-Sharp. My Marilyn probably third in front of Merry Shade.
Well, the winner there, Slight Chance, was not entered for the Golden Slipper, but she can get into the field by winning the Sweet Embrace at Canterbury, and if she does, the STC will pick up the entry tag for her. Let's look now to tomorrow and the Australia Cup. Now, Bart Cummings has won 34 major cup races in Australia. He holds the key to this one with Let's Elope and Shiva's Revenge. The update, Bart, on their condition, Bart?
They're pretty good, Keith.
Both of them?
Yep.
Right, the betting. Let's Elope favourite at 7 to 4. Shiva's Revenge, the stablemate, 2 to 1. Better Loosen Up, he's under a cloud. He's 7 to 1, and Dr. Grace, the only other one, under double-figure odds. But in a Melbourne newspaper this morning, the Sunday Age, you listed your top 50 horses in your career in order. You rated Let's Elope second, Shiva's Revenge equal 14th. Is that the tip, that you prefer the mare tomorrow?
I'd say equal second if it wins the Australian Cup. I think they left that out.
Oh, I see, I see. He's having something each way again. Come on, you're going to split them?
I can't, Keith. I honestly can't.
He might after tomorrow.
OK, that's it for Racing, Sandy, and catch you again next week. Good luck tomorrow, Bart.
Thanks, Keith. Thank you, Bart, very much. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thanks, Sandy.
We shall take a break. Be back with more shortly.
Shows are looking great and you feel all right now. Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah. Shut up. Wonderful.
It's the stress that gets you.
My mother's a little high-strung.
Go. Sing Give me pride, only pride. Give me pride, only pride. Give me pride, only pride. Give me pride, only pride.
Inter-Dominion Pacing Championship. And former Davis Cupper Alan Stone talks tennis, including Australia's build-up to its clash with Sweden. And we profile French champion Guy Forget. Yes, certainly a packed show today, but for the moment, let's stay with horse racing. These days, punters can be assured that while they may lose money, the bad old days racing is regarded as the cleanest in the world. One of the custodians of that racing law that has helped upgrade the sports image is one John Schreck. Tim Wharton caught up with him and found that behind the tough exterior, there's really a softie inside.
The Pendry steward and his posse of deputies have been on the trail keeping Sydney race.
Open, off and running, came out in a good even line, and French Lieutenant is striding straight to the lead from Indiana Bell.
Look, don't step out of line. He admits it's a lonely life and a tough one too. Yet he keeps on going in the belief that what he's doing is for the good of racing.
Most of the time that we're doing a pretty good job. In this job, that happens infrequently. So those sort of things hurt and upset me and all the people that I work with. I know that it does. But we've still got to do what we think is right at the time.
The AJC committee found that all 8 people named by its stewards did have prior knowledge of the ring-in last August in Brisbane.
During his time at the AJC, last year he broke from tradition when he decided to allow the champion colt Terse and its connections to keep racing, despite a positive swab for the prohibited substance, lignocaine. It was that case which put the sheriff under the most intense scrutiny of his career, drawing fire from racing authorities around the world.
It's another one for Shane Dye. Terse wins the slipper.
It was very difficult, and it's still causing criticisms. You've seen criticisms of me and the decision of the racing board and all sorts of people around the world. But Tim, unless you're there, and unless you're present to hear the evidence, unless you look the fellas straight in the face, unless you know all the circumstances, you shouldn't be too critical of what someone else has done.
Being a chief steward has meant plenty of sacrifices. An avid punter in his early years in the bush, but he refuses to bet on the horses because his job comes first.
So I started in this job a bit big these days, but I like to have an interest in it.
Darren Beekman, 54.5.
To the jockeys and trainers that cross his path, John Schreck seems a hard man. Fixing them with his steely glare, any wrongdoer can find himself facing a long suspension. And that can mean losing big bucks. But contrary to popular belief that the sheriff is a cold-hearted stickler for the rules, he'd much prefer not to hand out disciplinary action.
Some people say that they enjoy this kind of work, but I don't enjoy rubbing people out or penalising people. Now, I've said many times that I'd much rather have cooperation than confrontation, and if we can get that, that's much, much better for us.
Assuming that you hadn't made it, is there any other profession that you would have liked to have followed?
You know, I think if I could draw a picture on the ground and stand myself up, I'd, you know, I think probably the bloke that I'd like to be most in the world is Dave Appleton. You know, he's, you know, been a world champion and he's in his chosen profession and real horsey fellow, and, you know, great credit to his profession. And I guess...
You like the radio?
Yes, I like the radios. Yeah, I do like the radios. They've always intrigued me, and it's a tough, hard business. It's nice.
While he dreams of what he could have been, for now John Schreck will continue laying down the law. It may not be the perfect job, but he admits there are some bonuses. The biggest being that he's got the best seat in the house to watch some of the finest gallopers in the world.
It really is a very, very exciting day, some of the days, to see them and, you know, to be as close to Superimpose when he comes back as I am to you, you know, pat him on the nose. And it's a great, great privilege, and I'm very pleased to be in that position.
Come the day that John Schreck finally hangs up his hat.
I don't want people to do that. That's a word. Well, then that'll do me. Officially tonight.
Good story from Tim Morton, actually, Keith. I think John Schreck summed it up very early on in that story when he said, I'm one of the few people that go to work knowing that I'm going to make people unhappy, or I'm not going to please everyone every day of the week.
Yeah, that's a fair comment too. He's a very good steward, as is our chief steward, of course, Pat Lawler down here. In fact, John Schreck was Melbourne-based for many years, and his involvement, Sandy, in the fine cotton inquiry led to him being named the Racing Personality of the Year in Victoria some years ago, an award that Bart Cummings won for the second time last week.
Right. One interesting thing, just looking at that story, why do stewards wear hats?
Maybe, Sandy, it's the old saying, if you want to get ahead, get a hat. See you next week.
No, just before you go, who's going to win the Australia Cup?
Oh, the Australian Cup. I think Let's Elope. She's something special. I hope she makes it about 7 on the trot and gives Bart Cummings his 10th Australian Cup win. And I think she will.
Go and put your hat on and go home.
Thanks, Sandy.
We'll take a break. More on Sportsworld shortly.
Vicks Coca-Cola.